Happy to have you guys here. I'm sorry for the delay getting here. We had a little bit of a multiple different alerts coming in. Just those test alerts. So those are through. I'm back on. This is a watch list for Thursday, March 2nd. I put these lists out for you guys for free every single day. We've recently gone live with these lists. And it's to help you guys out even more so that if you have questions while we're going through this list, you guys have the ability to ask those questions if you need to. So I'll go through a couple quick things before we get started. You can follow me on Twitter at Mr. Clark Griswold. Again, if you have questions, you can put them in the live chat. If this is no longer live, leave your questions in the comment section. I get back to you guys usually within 24 hours, okay, or less. Terry, Marlon B, hello to you guys. A couple people saying hello as they log in here. The screen you see in front of you, this is TradingView. So if you guys have never used TradingView before, you're going to need it to basically trade, to chart all of your information. Now, with TradingView, if you've never used it before, down below in the description, there's a link. That link will get you a free 30-day trial to TradingView, and then if you decide to use it, you'll get up to $30 off of that subscription. So make sure you guys are checking that out and taking advantage of that if you've never used TradingView before. You can also ask questions in the Discord. It is free to join. 95% of it's free. That link is in the description below as well. And then part of that Discord, there is a paid membership. It's $50 a month, where you buy 2 months, you get the third month free. And it gives you the top fives from this list that I give out every single day. The top 5 weekly swings, monthly swings. There is a monthly swing video coming out as we are into March. SPY has already gone 2 down on the month. But there's a lot of other stuff included with that membership. You get one-on-ones with me if you choose to use them. So you can ask me questions directly, just the two of us. There's a 1-hour Strat course that I've created. The Griswold trading indicator that I've created includes time frame continuity, candlestick numbers, and a bunch of other things. Live trading bots gives you live trades throughout the day on ticker symbols like SPY, DIA, QQQ on the 5, 15, 30, and hourly charts. So you guys don't have to go looking for those. They just come directly to you in that Discord, along with some other great stuff. I will give away a copy of my book today to somebody who's listening. We'll see. I don't know how I'm going to do it yet. I'll figure it out as we go through this. But let's get started on the list. The first one I want to go through with you guys, let's look at Pfizer. So Pfizer, and we've talked a little bit about Pfizer throughout the year, I guess, because it is 2 down on the year. That's what that orange line is. And we've got full time frame continuity here right across the board. The month is still inside, so if we go to the month, and again, the month just opened up, but guys, we are right there. That it's likely going to be a 2-2 continuation on the month based off of that. So I'm going to look for this to continue to trend down. There's the blue line for the month that you see there. It's also the first target, but you can look for a 2-2 reversal here. We have a 2 up that finished red, and anytime we have a 2 up that finishes red, it gives me a higher probability that this is going to trend down. The time frame continuity obviously helps out a ton because we do have full time frame down for Pfizer. So puts there at $40.14. If I'm looking for a strike price, I'm looking at $40 for a strike price on Pfizer. We move on to DIA. So DIA is the opposite. We have a 2 down that finished green. And again, anytime we have a 2 down, we would like, well, it should be red, but when we finish green, I like to call that a failed 2. So when we have these failed 2s, a 2 down that finishes green, we can look for this to trend back up to the upside. So we'll look for calls here at 327.82, first target at 328.87. We move on to Wells Fargo, WFC, 2 down green as well. And I like that WFC is here because yesterday we called out WFC for this 2 down green, and our trigger was up here. Now we didn't trigger, so we don't enter the trade. And the thing is with these setups, guys, everything's based off of probability. So probability told us we were 2 down green, time frame continuity was on our side. We should have trended up. but that doesn't mean that it's necessarily going to happen. So now again, we have that 2 down that finished green. Probabilities, just like we had here, a 2 down that finished green, probabilities tell us that we should trend back to the upside. Will we get that on WFC tomorrow? I don't know, but if we do, you have those calls available at 46.92. And common shares, guys, you can trade with common shares if you're not comfortable with options, and it's probably the easier way to learn because you're losing a lot less than you would with an option play. So a Wells Fargo, for example, you might only lose 20 cents a share on this thing, whereas if you were buying options, you might have lost 15-20% would be your stop loss. So I always tell people that if you're not overly confident with options, learn this strategy with common shares and then move on to that next thing, which would be options. Okay, so that's WFC. And again, if you guys have questions, any of you guys who are here live right now, if you have questions, put them in that live chat. That's why we are here. And I can say hello to everyone. There we go. It's that easy. Okay, so that's WFC. We'll move on to the next one, BIDU. So I'm gonna do a video on BIDU because I know a couple people that took trades on this and they took 20%, 30%, 40%, and it was a gap play. So just briefly, if we go to the 15 real quick, just to show you guys what we're going to talk about. This was the trigger, okay, and we opened way above it. So all we really do on those gap ups, and I had somebody ask me this morning, how to play them. This first 15-minute bar basically gets traded like an inside bar if we gap up, okay? Then we have this second actual inside bar, so that becomes our new trigger. So the break of the high or the low of that inside bar, that is where we would jump into the trade, okay? So you would have done exactly that. And you would have made really good money on this on the way down. And then you would hop down to the 5 to manage it. I won't go into that because it's going to take too long into this video. But BIDU has a setup. Marlon BI, I think I have Google on here. BIDU has a setup. Okay, 2 up red. We're going to look for puts back to the downside. So at 141.60 in good magnitude. Back to the downside. And here's another example, guys. We had this 2 up that finished red and a shooter candle. So we had stuff on our side saying probability it should go down. It didn't. It gapped up and then continued down. So we're going to look for that same thing, that same type of probability where we look for this to trend back down. So like I said, puts at 141.60, first target at 137.61 on BIDU. Carnival Cruise Line, same thing, 2 up red. So we'll look for those puts at 10.51. I'd be looking at a strike price here. I'd probably have a 10.50 is what I'm guessing. So that's what I would look at. And a couple things to note here. I'm going to change this to green. We have our triggers. We have our targets. We also have this blue line. The blue line represents the monthly trigger. Okay, so if I head to the monthly chart, we've got a 2 up that finished red. We are currently sitting inside bar. There is the monthly target or the daily target. So if we trigger and hit our targets, then we've just swung a possible swing trade to go 2 down on the month. Okay, so our first target on the daily is our trigger to go 2 down on the month. Carnival Corporation, 2-2 reversal on the month. Ford Motor Company, another 2 up red, preceded by an inside bar. So again, I have a video on this one as well. It's called a 1-2-2 Rev Strat. And really all we're looking for here is a 2-2 reversal. But when we have a 1 preceding it, we call that a 1-2-2 Rev Strat. Okay, so puts are possible here at 12.17 and the 2 targets marked out for you guys on Ford. There's a guy on Twitter, Fix It Phil. He likes to play Ford all the time. It does move a little slower, guys. It does not move as fast as SPY. So I took a trade today on SPY. I jumped in. I was in less than 2 minutes. It might have been just over 2 minutes, but I think it was just under. It's posted on Twitter. It's posted in the Discord. It's time-stamped. I don't even remember what I jumped in at. 41, I think, and I got out at 61 in 2 minutes. Okay, 48% in 2 minutes. SPY moves really fast, both ways, winning side and losing side. Ford does not move that fast. So again, it's something that if you're just learning, it's something that you can look at for an option play, and they're cheap. Okay, they're cheap premiums on Ford. American Airline 3-1 setup, full time frame continuity to the upside. I want to put a target here and show you guys it is exactly the same. The high of the inside bar and the high of the outside bar are exactly the same. So we will move that target to the top. Okay, next proceeding wick. So inside bars, guys, and a 3-1 setup is very rare. So they don't happen very often. Let's go back real quick just to find the last time that we had a 3-1 setup on American Airlines, and I want to see how it behaved. Okay, there it is, and that's exactly what we expect off of those 3-1 setups. We expect these big explosions to trigger and hit target, target, target. And it went up for another day here, gapped up again and hit another target. So that's what we expect off of those 3-1 setup, guys. They don't happen very often. They're very powerful, and they tend to do what they're supposed to do. So realistically, this just is an inside bar. So it's painted yellow. It's painted yellow because of the indicator I created for you guys. The white bar is also part of that indicator. That's a 3 bar. The OB tab, the IB tab, those are also part of the indicator. And the gold that highlights these is also part of it. So you can easily identify when you have one of these 3-1 setups. If the white and the yellow aren't identifiable enough, we put that little gold highlight on there for you guys. Plus, we have this time frame continuity in our favor. So calls at 1603, puts at 1575. I'm not sure what the premiums are or the spreads are on American Airlines. I think they might be a little higher. If someone wants to check while we're going through, feel free and let me know. But normally most of these setups that I give you guys, most of the tickers that I give you from the 100 or so off of my list, they have smaller premiums usually, but the bid and the ask is usually very tight, meaning there's only a couple pennies between the bid and the ask price. And the reason that's important to me and the way I trade is because I only like to trade market orders. I buy market and I sell market because I'm not in trades for very long, just like today, 2 minutes. If I would have tried to get in on the limit order, I would have missed that trade. I never would have got profit on it. I never would have jumped in because I missed it. Okay, so SPY is only a couple pennies. I like to jump in. I like to jump out. Okay, that's the way I do it. So that's a 3-1 setup on American Airlines. Marlon B is saying CRM. I don't even think I put CRM on the list, Marlon. CVX, another 3-1 setup here. We've gone 2 up on the week. I know that because I've got this pink line here. And if I were to go show you guys what the week looked like, there it is. 2 down green, 2-2 reversal back to the upside on CVX. So we go back to the daily. We'll see how this thing plays out. 3-1 setup. Calls at 163.59, puts at 160.59. And realistically, guys, when I take my day trades, I just need these two. Okay, I just need the hourly and the daily. If I have anything else in that direction, it's a bonus, meaning there's just a higher probability that that trade would work out in my favor. And again, if we go back and look at CVX, and I like to do this because the trades are based off of probability, and they don't always happen the way we would like. There's double inside bars here, highlighted with blue. There's another set there, and you can see how rare these 3-1s are. We have to go all the way back to, where are we here? June of 22. Okay, so we had a 3-1 setup, and we ended up gapping. Okay, so again, it didn't work out the way we planned it. Okay, but there was a gap set up to play there. If you guys don't know how to play the gaps, I just created a 4-part playlist with 4 gap videos for you guys to check out how to play on the morning gaps. Okay, so go check those out. But this is a 3-1 setup on CVX for you guys. Another inside bar on EW. So I will talk a little bit more about these inside bars, and I always do, because a lot of times we get new viewers, and I know a lot of you guys have heard this already. So, you know, have a drink, have some popcorn if you already know what I'm going to say. But an inside bar, guys, okay, it doesn't break the high and it does not break the low of the previous candle. These 2 green lines are the highs and lows of the previous candle. It doesn't break them. It stays within the range. It's a tightening range. It's a consolidating range. And when you have the indicator and get these yellow candles, when you see them, I want you guys to automatically think of a spring being compacted, loaded. And what we expect off it is exactly what we had off of this inside bar right here. We opened, we triggered, we hit targets. Then the next day we jumped up even further. Okay? That's what we look for off of those inside bars. And I often describe it as an inverse broadening formation. And broadening formations usually look like a megaphone. And if I were to say this was an inverse broadening formation, some people call it a flag, we get this, okay? This triangle right here. And so when the next bar opens, it's got there's nowhere left for it to go, the next candle to go, except for it to break out of whatever is in here, okay? So we're either breaking high or we are breaking low. And that's all we look for on the inside bars. And if you're struggling or new, I always tell you guys to focus on the inside bars. They're easy to spot. You can play them either way. And for the most part, probability-based, they tend to have those big, big runs, okay? So from EW, we'll move on to GE. GE, there's another one of those 3-1 setups. So we can look for calls at 85.36. We'll put the targets in together at 85.65, and then the puts are there for you as well at 83.75, or your first targets to the downside at 83.46. Another 3-1 setup. So Marlin, there's your Google, okay? So Google looks like a really great play. And again, I don't know what the premiums are in Google or the spreads. I don't play it very often, but we have this 3-1 setup. If we go back in time, look for the gold highlight, okay? We're scrolling back, there it is, okay? And it ended up going outside bar. So we opened way down here, we gapped, so it ended up being a gap play, okay? But if we go back to this 3-1 setup on Google, we've got a couple things in our favor. So we have the 3-1 setup in our favor, okay? The inside bar, again, preceding the outs or following the outside bar, that's something we like to look for. The other thing we have, this full time frame continuity. Would I like to see the week and the month not be in inside bars? Yes, but it doesn't really matter to me as much as it does to some others. I would still take this trade. So calls at 91.20, first target at 91.45. And Marlon, because you asked about it, my strike price on this, again, I'd be looking at like a 91, a 91.50 if it was there. Otherwise, it would be a 92. And I would get the closest expiry because that's, for me, that's the easiest way for me to do it, and that's what I'm comfortable with. Now, you could get the following Friday or you could get 3 weeks out if you wanted, whatever you're more comfortable with. It's obviously going to cost you more money that way, but it also doesn't move as fast. It gives you a little bit more time, okay? The puts are also there at 89.85, and again, I'd be looking at an 89.50 or an 89 even. 91 is 60 cents. So it might be a little different at open, but there you go. So 60 cents for one contract at 91. So it's $60 for a contract. It's very, very affordable. Okay? So and that's why I like to put these setups on here for you guys, because I know a lot of people don't have the really large accounts. So this gives them that opportunity to jump into an option play that only costs them $60 or $120 if they want to buy two or what have you. And speaking on that, and I always mention this, guys, don't focus on the dollar values when you're looking at profit on the play, because 10% on $60 is only $6, and I get it. It's nobody wants to just go into a trade to win $6 to make $6. Okay, it's not, especially when you see highlight reels on Twitter and Facebook of people pulling in $1,000 gains or $100 gains. It plays with the mind a little bit, and you want to get those big gains, and unfortunately those big gains are really hard to get off of $60 or $120 capital in a trade. You guys will get there. If you learn to trade with 120, you'll be able to do it with 1,020, okay? And eventually those $6 trades are going to turn into $60 trades, and then those are going to turn into $600 trades. But if you learn the basics and you can build up your account slowly, I know we're programmed as humans to maximize and get the most out of everything that we can and do it as fast as we can. It's really hard to do it when you're in this business. Okay, it's really hard, especially when you have small accounts. So base hits, guys, all the way. Base hit after base hit after base hit, and those base hits will add up. If you traded with $100 every day and you made 20% a day on that $100, you double your account every week. Now, I'm not saying that's possible or that you can actually do that, But what I'm saying is if you had a goal of an average of 20% a day, for example, every week you would double your money. Okay? You double your money every week, and that 100 by the end of the month would end up being 400. Okay? So that's what we're looking at here. Focus on the percentages. 100% a week, 20% a day, 10%, whatever it is. Don't focus on the dollar values. Okay, I've rambled on that long enough. We'll move on to the next one. We'll move on to Facebook, or Meta as it's called now. A 2-up red, so that's the failed 2 we talked about earlier. And this is what we call a shooter candle. So a shooter candle, guys, is a bearish pattern. We have this body down below here, and in order for it to be a shooter, we need this wick to be 2 times the height of what this body is, and that's exactly what we have here. So I set these up 15 minutes before close, so this went down a little bit lower. We can look for puts at 173.05 and first target at 171.87 on Facebook. QCOM, same thing, 2-up red. The first target is very, very close. It's there in green as I highlight over it, but we're also looking at going 2 down on the month on QCOM. That's what that blue line is. That's our trigger to go 2 down on the month. We'll see if we can do that on Monday. Okay, we move on to Roku. Oh, I zoomed in. I made this bigger. I do that a lot. I don't know how to make it smaller. All right. Well, inside bar on Roku, we've got calls at... I need to make it smaller because now I can't see my dollar values. Unbelievable. There we go. Inside bar on Roku, calls at 64.85, puts at 62.35. We've already broken out of this inside bar. That's what those 2 pink lines are. We'll look to see if we get a continuation on the 2 down on the week on Roku. 2-up red on SE. So SE, we can look for puts here at 61.97. First target at 59.90. Good magnitude on that. Walmart, WMT. Walmart actually should not be on here, so we can take that right off. Walmart is, well, here's the thing. I guess you could look at this as a continuation. I'll never tell you guys not to do continuations. If the setup is there, it's there. We do have, outside of this hourly, we do have full time frame continuity on Walmart. So you could look for the continuation to the downside at 139.97. And actually, I have this highlighted. This is interesting. Okay, so your first target is 138.69. We go to the monthly in March. Okay, 2 up that right here that finished red on Walmart, and we're about to go 2 down on the month. So a 2-2 reversal, 2 up, 2 down reversal, and we can look to take this down, 2 down on the month. And does it happen on this day? I don't know. Marlon, are you asking if this is a hammer candle right here on Walmart? If it is, I would say no. Okay? So a hammer candle is basically the opposite of a shooter. So this wick has to be 2 times the length of this. Okay? I don't even know if it's 1 times the length of that. Okay, so if this bottom of the body was up here, then yeah. That's right, the body's too big, Andy. So if we were right in this range here, that would allow us to see a hammer candle there. And again, it's red, so it's less probability than if it was green. But the fact that we are so close to going 2 down on the month, and the time frame continuity is showing us red right across the board, Walmart has a pretty good shot tomorrow of going 2 down and hitting that monthly reversal. Okay, so is there anybody else that has questions here on anything that we went through, or on any tickers that I didn't go through or didn't look at? Now's your chance to ask. And the other thing I want to ask, are there any, because most times we have a lot of guys in the room, are there any girls in the room? we have any ladies in the room? No? No ladies? So Marlon, you're pretty active all the time. You're always on the streams, so send me a DM on Twitter, okay? On Twitter or on the Discord, and I will send you a free copy of that book. So I did a book, guys. It's basically on trading psychology. Did I bring up airline tickers? Yeah, we went through American Airlines. I looked at LUV, Andy, and we can look at LUV. It's usually on my list, but I'm not sure about the premiums on LUV. So, yeah, there's an inside bar here if we want to go through it. You're basically playing inside bars. Time frame continuity is kind of mishy-mashy. It's all over the place. And I'm not even going to do that. I'm just going to delete that. You're basically just playing an inside bar off of LUV. So I had it on here a couple times. I think it had a double inside bar one day, so I started putting it on the list. But again, I'm not sure about the premiums and the spread. So, and I don't want you guys to get caught in something that I wouldn't get myself caught into. So I don't usually go over them. UAL, United Airlines. United Airlines is just trending up. Okay, so we're 2 up everywhere on the month, or at least we're green everywhere on the daily. If we go check out the weekly, we're 2 up on the week already. If we go on to the monthly, there, we just broke an inside bar on the monthly, okay? So there was a 3-1 setup on the monthly charts, and I'll mark this out with you guys. This is still something that you guys could get into for a swing play, okay? So I'm not even going to mark the bottom there. I will mark the bottom. I already had it there. So we've gone 2 up on the month already on UAL. So again, I'm not sure what the premiums are. I'm not sure what the spreads are. On a swing trade, Andy, I would go on a limit order because I have more time. If this is a day trade, I don't have as much time for me to wait for it to hit targets because sometimes they happen really fast. On the monthly, it's going to take a little bit more time. Now, this isn't that big of a move to go from 52.39 to, whatever we're at, 53.16. It could do that in a day, but we are 2 up on the month on UAL. And then even if we go to the quarterly, we've gone 2 up again early off of that outside bar. And then the 12-month, there's your 2-2 reversal, okay? It must have just broke. So if we go look at the high here is 53.12, and the high's broken it by 14 cents right now on the yearly. So we are 2 up on the year on United Airlines as well. So that's something, even if you guys wanted to buy shares and try this out for a long play on common shares, UAL would work, okay? Does anybody have anything else? There's still no women in here. But Marlon B, like I said, make sure you message me on Twitter or on the Discord. I'm pretty sure you're in the Discord. And I'll send you a copy of the book, okay, man? Does anybody else have anything? Any questions on anything that we've gone through? Anything about the strat? Doesn't have to be what we've just gone through. Okay, Marlon, get a hold of me on Discord. But anything, any questions on anything, and I can answer them here for you now. Nothing. All right, guys, if you don't have anything else, then I'll leave it at that. If you guys are trading tomorrow, good luck. Don't feel like you guys always have to trade, okay? You don't always have to trade. Sitting on your hands is a setup and is a play too, okay? That's playing the market. You don't have to trade. Don't FOMO, okay? I was sitting on the couch this afternoon before I started this, and I started looking at SPY, and I thought, wow, I really could. It was an hour before market close, and I thought, man, I could just jump in right here. And then I thought again, I'm like, why would I jump in an hour before close? It's, for me, I don't usually trade that late in the day. And I had to stop myself. And it happens to me, it happens to everybody. I had to stop myself. I didn't take the trade. You don't have to trade, guys. You don't have to trade. It's I took one trade today, this morning, and that was it. I saw a guy on Twitter, he showed his monthly spreadsheet. He took 18 trades in one day, and it blew my mind. 18 trades in a day. The most I would take is 4, and that is a lot for me. Okay? If I can't get my money in 2 or 3 trades, it's probably not my day. Okay? It's probably not my day. It doesn't mean you guys have to do that, but it's the way I do it. And again, I try and be as simple as I can. If I can simplify everything and anything, Johnny 5, that's Andy. Short Circuit. I think. Is that right, Andy? Short Circuit on the Discord? If I can do anything, it's to simplify everything. And when you simplify, things become more simple. And that's why I love the Strat. That's why I love this strategy. Because there are no indicators. Zero. I mean, we talk about time frame continuity. It's not a real indicator. I'm talking about like RSIs and MACDs and EMA crossings. That's what I'm talking about. Relying on those. You don't need to. All you need to do is rely on the candles, guys. The candles and time frame continuity are your friends in trading. Okay? I'll leave you with that. There's no more questions. Thank you guys for tuning in today. I appreciate it. Like I said, every day at 4 Eastern, I'm going to try and do these live. So make sure you guys are subscribed. Hit the bell. That bell will send you the notifications for when I log in, okay? So thank you guys. Good luck trading tomorrow. I wish you nothing but the best. Nothing but green. No 200 EMA, Marlin. Good luck. We'll see you.